Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. The Smith-Mundt Modernization Act of 2012 run counter to this commandment. Now, on Saturday, February 2nd, 2019, Alex Jones had breaking news. Obama signed an executive order to turn over the control of the corporate media to the CIA. The bill allowed the CIA to pay the corporate media with taxpayer money. To pay the corporate media with taxpayer money to lie to the people of the United States. Well, now, with all of the new testimony and documents being released now, we know that the CIA and other intelligence agencies were attempting to overthrow the president and his administration. Listen to Alex Jones explain in detail.
An incredible announcement by Congress, an incredible law passed that has gotten no media coverage, but we have the legislative record right here. A bill was passed, executive orders were signed by a traitorous president to turn full control of the corporate MSM media over to the Defense Department and the Central Intelligence Agency to legally take taxpayer money and pay CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times, your local TV station, your local newspaper, to lie to the American people. I just couldn't believe that this was passed and it got no coverage in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, 2013. But, oh my goodness, I have a memory. Something that Gruber and others say is the only thing holding back their takeover. I had it in Foreign Affairs of the CFR, Public Affairs, the Washington Post. I had it in Business Insider, the Associated Press, and I had the bill in 2012. Obama got a bill passed to allow domestic lying by the CIA and other agencies against the American people. And now, 8 years later, 7 years later, we see the aftermath. Why does the establishment, both right and left, want InfoWars banned? Why do they fear it? Because we have a memory. I'm going to show you the mainstream news articles and the bill and the executive order right now. You can look it up for yourself. Where 7, 8 years ago, in 2012, a law was passed in the Defense Authorization Act legalizing the government lying and paying with taxpayer money for fake news against the people. But what's even more fantastical is what I'll cover in about 5 minutes. Because you see, when Obama lost, because that was his whole power structure, when Hillary didn't get in 2.5 years ago, he signed executive orders putting $2 billion into the propaganda fund to counter InfoWars, President Trump, and others. So this is Business Insider. This is May 21st, 2012, again, 7 years ago. NDAA legalizes the use of propaganda on U.S. public, run by the CIA. Go read it. Let's show you another article. Here's an article right here. Lifting of U.S. propaganda ban gives new meaning to old song beyond Operation Mockingbird and the Frank Church Committee hearings. Here's one out of Public Affairs put up by the Washington Post. U.S. repeals propaganda ban, spreads government-made news to Americans. You thought our press was corrupt before. This is everything. And again, this was in 2012, 2013, Barack Hussein, the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama. taking your taxpayer money to have this happen. U.S. Senate panel okays funds to fight online propaganda. Voice of America News. So now the Voice of America doesn't battle the Russians or the Chi-Coms. It battles the American people. Let's fast forward to 2016. Trump's won November 8th. Obama's only got 3 months left in office. He leaves January 20th. Trump's going to be inaugurated. What do? You use the repeal on propaganda to now put $2 billion in to set up groups and operations to engage in the takedown of the duly elected president. And there it is right there. Obama quietly signs the Countering Disinformation and Propaganda Act into law, establishing his own Orwellian system. And again, you say, well, Trump's the president. Well, he doesn't know how the bureaucracy works. This is the next year's fiscal funding. In 2016, Obama funds 2017. But in defense spending, many of the bills are 2-3 years up. So this all ended 2018 in December. And the total funding into the next month in 2019. So that's why this is so important. You're about to get the big secret. All these BuzzFeed people and Newsweek people and Huffington Post being laid off. You don't know what happened. I'm going to tell you right now. It's all in the legislation. You didn't know you were getting the CIA money? Of course, most of you do. You're being coordinated by them. And again, stay behind groups. These are how spies work. It's not the whole CIA. $2 billion. 160 plus million in just one payment that was triggered in 2017, where Obama funded the newspapers and publications. Why do you think the newspapers and publications were so unified in their hate of Trump, so unified in their lies, so unified in their attacks on me? It would come out that Facebook and Twitter and Google would coordinate in private meetings for weeks what they were about to say about me, because they bowed down to the CIA and FBI counterintelligence and said Jones is a Russian agent. They had congressional hearings with no proof, but they'd say, oh, Jones works for RT and Putin, so we're going to do this. So we've been hit by $2 billion, not just us, but Franklin Graham got banned off Twitter, Facebook. You know, everybody else has been hit, but we were the main target. And this got pointed out by one of our researchers, Harrison Smith, just a few days ago. And I looked into it, and I was like, oh, my God. 2 years ago, the funding began in January of 2017. Zoom in on this for TV viewers. And then a week ago to the day, we had thousands of layoffs at leftist publications everywhere, and now they're announcing more. Because in one tranche, it was 160 million in the effort to quote counter foreign propaganda. But they defined in the House Intelligence Committee and the House Defense Committee and the House Armed Services Committee and the Senate Intelligence Committee and the Senate Judiciary Committee that I'm a Russian agent. I wasn't called. I couldn't speak. No proof was shown. But they said it because they had to say it in front of everybody because that was the funding.
Mr. Armstrong, you'd mentioned in your answer to, I think, Ms. Spears' question that there are other RTs operating in the U.S. Can you describe them, list them?
Sure, thank you. So you have RT, you have Sputnik, you have Rupley, and then I think you have them feeding other entities. InfoWars comes to mind, where those are echo chambers for those modalities.
So by saying I'm a Russian agent and Trump's a Russian agent with no proof, they could enact outside of regular judiciary law and jurisprudence and due process emergency powers that are legitimate if you're facing a real foreign enemy.
Left-wing media laying off thousands of people is really great news. This means the level of propaganda will probably go down a level or two. Now, bad news for the left-wing media is that once people are no longer needed, sometimes they start strangely disappearing. Public documented testimony revealed that the CIA has practically been running everything. The CIA main resource has been the control of the corporate mainstream media for a long time. With the media taking a big hit in their financing, it's going to be bad news for the globalists.